Hi, this is Julie, and in this video I'm going to talk about working with random numbers in C++. I'm first going to review the modulo operator. Then I'm going to talk about how to generate random numbers in C++, and I'll show you some examples. I'll also show you how to seed random number generators, and then some alternatives that are available with the newer C++ 11 standard. But first, let's review the modulo operator because we'll be using this with random numbers quite a bit. And the purpose of this operator is to return the remainder after integer division. And when we use this operator, the values that we can receive range from 0 up to the divisor. Well, what do I mean by that? Let's look at an example. So if I have an expression that says some number mod 7, what are the possible values I can see? Well, this operator is going to return values from 0 to 6. And the reason for this is a little easier to understand if we look at the example of 12, 13, and 14. We divide 12 by 7, we'll have a remainder of 5. 13 mod 7 is 6, and then when we get to 14 mod 7, the next number in sequence would be a 7, but 7 can't be a remainder when we divide by 7. So when we look at 14 mod 7, that takes us all the way back to 0. And we would see these same values no matter what numbers we were using with mod 7. But let's talk now about random numbers. So why do we use random numbers and generate random numbers? If we are programming games, we might use random numbers, generating passwords, cryptography, things like that. There's a number of different uses. And in order to actually generate random numbers in C++, we're going to need a new header file, the cstdlib, which is short for C standard lib. And that header file has a function called rand. R-A-N-D. It has open parentheses, does not take any parameters. And when I call this function, I can get a value anywhere from 0 to rand max. So rand max is a number that depends on your compiler and your system, but it's often about 32,000. And I may very well not want random numbers quite that large. For example, if I'm looking at throwing dice and simulating that, I don't want values that go all the way up to 32,000. And this is where the modulo operator comes in. I'm going to use this to limit the possible numbers returned. So now when I simulate rolling the die, I'm going to say rand mod 6 because I want 6 different values, or 6 possible values. Now there's one caveat to this. When I call mod 6, the values that are returned to me are from 0 to 5. And if I'm rolling a die, I really want values from 1 to 6. So we're going to need to modify the value returned. Again, by default, we're going to get values between 0 and 5. We want numbers between 1 and 6. And so what can we do? Well, one solution I've seen students try is saying, well, right, if I need a 6 to be returned, I'll just say rand mod 7. So how is this as a solution? Well, at the surface, it looks like a good idea. But the problem is, if we use this solution, now we're going to get values from 0 to 6. And that's 7 different values. And I really don't want the value of 0 anyway. So instead of changing the divisor in my modulus operator, my modulus operation, I'm going to add 1 to the number returned. So now if I say rand mod 6, I'll get values 0 to 5. Then I'm going to add 1 to the value, and now I have values 1 to 6. So now let's see an example of this by creating a program that simulates rolling 2 dice.